Hello, welcome to another episode of Stockbridge Sketchworks. I'm having major issues with my lighting, so throughout this episode I am trying to shift it, and I have sort of cut it in places where I do change things. So I think so far the sketch is coming along really well. I'm happy. So I spent the day today wondering what I was going to do, how I was going to finish it off, and I came to a bit of an impasse. I didn't really know what to put in the background. I didn't know whether to sort of make it black or put something in. So I just kind of googled some different types of elements. I went back to Heath Ledger pictures from the films, and I tried to get more sort of reference photos with certain keywords like chaos, and then it kind of all sort of developed from there to the idea that I had of wind, not like distortion kind of sort of feeling to the final pass of this sketch, but it was also I wanted to bring in some element of chaos. So I ended up going with what I ended up going with, and I have toyed with it, telling you what it is up front or letting you just sort of watch it. I think I'm just going to sort of let it slip. So I ended up deciding that I'm going to have in the background to the right side of the image a kind of fireball, sort of raging inferno type of look. It's something that I might come back to. I'm happy with the results at the moment, but I might come back to it. And yeah, so we'll see about that. I think the final sort of image I think I might go back to. I'm not sure. I'm going to sort of let it sit there for a while and think about it. So really, I would like your opinion on it at the end. Well, if you do make it to the end, and obviously when I do the speeded up version of the sketch, there'll be a lot more info. The production values of that episode will be a lot higher. So either on that video or on this video, if you have any ideas about how you think I should finish off the art piece, then do let me know. But as I said, what I've gone with, I'm fairly happy with. So we'll see, basically. So after having studied the original image, the source image, I noticed that he does actually have lapels on his waistcoat, so I'm going to be doing that. It does look like a sort of a blazer, though. But hey, fuck it, don't care. So as I've said in previous episodes, the first episode of this is for a very dear friend of mine, and he's very passionate about Heath Ledger's Joker, so I've decided to basically sketch him, and at the same time I'm expanding my knowledge and skills as a colour artist. Yeah, this, if you believe it or not, this is the first time I'm working with colour, like proper, full on. I messed about as a kid, obviously, as you do, but yeah, this is where I've properly gone in. I love it. I think it's great, and I don't understand why I haven't done it before. But there's so many pitfalls though going to colour. You gotta you've got to know a lot about colour matching. Look, I'm smoking. I do apologise. It's a really bad habit. Don't copy me. So you do really sort of need to know what colours match best with other colours, all obviously depending on what you're aiming for, but you need that kind of database of colour themes. But if you're going for a particular image that you like, the job's done for you, really, because the colours that they're using, but you've got to interpret it, and it is a lot about interpretation. It's something that I've always gone on about. I've always banged home to people as much as I could, just, it's interpretation, and it's about patience, and it's about believing that you can do it, and not even thinking about the difficulty ahead. It's a passion, and it's certainly become a passion for me. Just adjusting the camera so you can see what I'm doing down at the bottom here. One thing that's really annoying is I've got to work out a more efficient way of not having my hand touch the actual paper, because it tends to kind of dull out the blacks that I've sketched in. So you'll see me going over these black spots quite a lot, and it's really just because I'm sketching something up at the top right. I've got my palm or the side of my hand on it, and I have to go back through it. I've also noticed that when I'm scanning the image into the computer, it doesn't really capture what I'm going for and what I can see in real life. Looking at this original in real life, it looks a lot different to how it's scanned in, so it does require quite a bit of photoshopping treatment. It's not as simple as black and white. But there it is, So with this particular point, I decided to sort of go in and maybe draw in the other side of his shirt on the other side of the tie, but as I progressed forward, it really wasn't looking very good, and I decided to dull it out as much as possible. I cut this sort of section out because it's not really worth you seeing the fuck up. Well, I don't see it as a fuck up, I just see it as okay, no, that didn't work. I don't know, maybe I should have kept it in, but no, goddammit, I must be a perfectionist. This is a gift, and it's got to be right. It's got to be fucking right. The amount of times I've tweaked the muscles of his forehead on the left side the measurement of that, I just kept getting wrong. And I ended up just sort of scanning what I'd done into the computer and layering it over the top of the original to see how accurate I got it. Or didn't get it. And yeah, I was spot on with 90% of it, all except that bit at the far left side of the forehead there that you can't see. I'm happy with the result of this. So as I said before, I'm going to sit on it because I'm not entirely certain that the end result that we get to it by the end of this episode, I'm not entirely certain that's the final. But as I said, you will see when we get there. I'm really happy with the mouth and the red of the mouth. I did some tiny amounts of tweaking in between episodes to the mouth. What else did I do in between episodes? Yeah, the left part of his nose that's mostly obscured, you can see there. That kind of took a couple of passes to get right, and yeah, I'm fairly happy with that as well. Yeah, the skin tone or the texture of the skin tone I'm happy with. I've seen quite a few images of Heath's Joker with half of the makeup off, like he started to sweat it off, and I don't know whether to include that here or not. I mean, I don't know. Alan, if you're listening, put a comment in this video and tell me whether you'd like me to put in some of that. And I will, because it is ultimately your sketch. Right, so now moving on to the pièce de résistance, the background rendering. So as I said, yeah, I looked at quite a few images just to sort of get an idea. I haven't, and as I said before, I'm not 100% happy, but as you'll see, so I'm starting off with a brownish base. Looking at the reference photos, I can see the dull sort of shadow shades go from black to a sort of a browny, reddy brown. So just layering in some brown now, and then I'll move on to some red. I'm gonna go into speed mode here. Bloody camera. Yeah, there's a camera cut of me trying to get the lighting right. It is a fair bit of a nightmare trying to get this lit right. When I was doing black and white stuff, it was just so much easier. But now that it's color, I've got to worry about, fucking lighting things right. I think I need to go back to camera class. So this is going to require a lot of layering. And again, it's all experimental. I don't really know what I'm doing. So I am just sort of seeing what's working and what isn't. And that happened as well, where I was doing the shading of the brown and the source paper underneath the edge of it. Doesn't really matter. This is probably like one of my favourite things to do here. It's just drawing sort of just organic colours in, no real guide, no real sort of end goal except to just experiment. Okay, so I've cut and I've decided to soften up the lamp on the right side with some thin paper. Just sellotape it to the lamp, so sort of diffuse it a little bit. It works a little bit better. I'm a stubborn git, and I won't watch tons and tons of tutorials on how other people do this kind of art. It's funny, I'm weird. When it comes to sort of working with software and getting like 3D based things right in a piece of software, then that's a different matter. I'll look it up. But when it comes to art like this, I don't want to be told. It's really funny. It's really strange, but that's how it is. I want to learn this kind of thing on my own. I want to be able to say that I worked out how to draw on my own. No one taught me. And doing colour work is its own sort of nightmare, really. So yeah, I am really just experimenting. So, all about this sort of series, this Joker series, I am going to be doing every single Joker. Everyone who's ever played the Joker, I'll be doing. So, Joaquin Phoenix, Jared Leto, Cesar Romero from the 60s. I kind of feel like, I should start doing series. Aside from the fact that it's something to do, it's fun. It's nice building up a collection. Am I going back to black and white sketching? Yeah, of course. It's whatever my clients want. If they want me to do colour, fine. If they want me to do black and white, if you want me to, if you request something, you put a comment in and you subbed and all of that, and you want me to do something, you can choose whether you want me to do it in black and white or colour. I'll do my best. I can't guarantee results, but I will be doing my best. So yeah, it's coming along, I think. So I've realised that going over a darker colour with a lighter version is kind of not always possible. You can lay over darker colours, but it's really kind of it's tricky. It's tricky, especially with the look that I'm looking for. I think my mistake, if I'm looking back on it, which I am, is going in with black right now. I should have kept on adding more and more highlight. But if I'm being just totally sort of critical, and then yeah, that's what I'm thinking straight away. But this, this whole exercise is all about me experimenting. Obviously, sort of trying to make sure that I do a good job in the end. But really, I am just sort of essentially just fucking about. But I am fairly sort of determined to get this look right. So I've heard there might be another Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix. It's a rumour mill thing right now. I don't know whether it's actually going to happen. I don't know how I feel about it either, because I think that the first one was just a perfect example of a lot of things. Mental health and how governments just sort of ignore it. It's a very dangerous thing to ignore, and it shouldn't be ignored, really. Needs to be addressed. Needs to be brought out of the cupboard, really, and just sort of, be more open. I think we're kind of getting there, though, maybe. This whole situation with COVID is kind of grounded us a little bit on the whole. I know that it's affected me quite a lot. I've suffered quite a bit this past sort of 12, 18 months, but it's nothing really new, because I do suffer from depression anyway, so let's not get into all that though. So yeah, this kind of look is nice. I'm trying to sort of maintain this idea of chaos, but it's all about layering in things right. Another thing that I'm concerned about is getting the ring light of his hair spot on, because I'm going to have to go through and highlight the edges of his hair because of the light that's going on here in the background. So it's got to be bright in places, and I think that's something I didn't really sort of think about as I was doing this. So this is why I'm a little bit concerned, but I am just generally being picky at the moment, but I'm an artiste and I have to get things right. So yeah, definitely the mistake was going in with the deep shadows here. I think I should have just stuck with going from mid-range to highlights instead of just instead of going shadow ways. This technique that I'm doing right now, sort of like a circular, in between a scrub and a circular type of move, I'm trying to sort of bring out that sort of cloudy, kind of flamey, sort of flame ball type look. So I do everything on my channel for free, and I am more than happy to take requests from people. And if you get in now, if you subscribe now and asks me to do something, I'm gonna probably end up doing it at this stage, because I don't, I'm not a grand YouTuber. I don't have, thousands upon thousands of followers. So if you get in now, your chances are pretty much guaranteed. So I would take advantage if I were you. Ah, dear. So I'm liking this broken up technique here that I've got going on. It's nice. I will be moving on to the highlights. So this is likely going to be the last episode, the final one where I finish. But as I've said before, if you think that it could benefit with something else, then please put a comment in. Don't be shy. I take criticism well. I'm not a child. So, if you think that something could be done better, then, please do let me know. I'm going to leave you with this wonderful music yet again, and I'm going to see you on the next episode. So do please get in your requests. I'm going to be taking a short break before I move on to the next Joker in the series. So if you do sort of manage to, get through to me before I start it, then there's every chance that I'll probably do yours next. Who knows? But until the next episode, I will love you and leave you. Stay safe, stay well, and until then, take care.